Hey everyone, it is great to see you back on my channel. Today I have another book review. I am going to be reviewing Dreams from My Father, A Story of Race and Inheritance by Barack Obama. I did not know this, but the book was originally published in 1995. Basically what the book is about is it shows our 44th president in his life at an earlier age. A story and a side of him that I did not really know at all about. I knew that he grew up in Hawaii for a bit, but that's basically the extent that I knew before I picked up this book. It shows him being raised by his white grandparents. It shows him moving to Indonesia with his mother, and it shows him visiting his father's family in Kenya. And it also shows him sort of coping with the death of his father, who's been absent for his entire life. So it was sort of a more raw and vulnerable story in that sense, because you kind of get to see how he deals with those things and you see it from his point of view and you can kind of pick his brain in a sense. I think my favorite aspect about that is that not only did I get to see a younger version of the man who is idolized in this world, but I kind of got to see how he deals with things, like from his thought processes and how he deals with solving problems in everyday situations. What I found was that he does an amazing job at looking at an argument from all sides. He really tries to figure out why the thing is the way it is before he tries to fix it. And that was both refreshing and, I don't know, just like an insight that I haven't had before. I was able to see two different things essentially. I was able to see him and his successes, and a lot of times the little victories that flew in the face of the stereotypes and statistics. And during those parts, I felt like my own sense of like little victory. But I also saw another side of him where he was very humbled and he knew that he was a lot more privileged than a lot of the people that he came into contact with. Growing up as a biracial kid in the time that he did wasn't easy, but he was definitely able to show that he did have it easy in a sense, and that was something that I really was grateful for, because it would have been very easy for him to make out a lot of like, it would have been very easy for him to just feel like play the victim, and he did not do that. So I don't know, for some reason that resonated with me, and it makes me feel like he was very humble in writing this story. I also feel like in the stories that he showed when he was in the inner city in Chicago trying to be a community organizer, you can kind of see the reasons behind his actions. Before he was a politician, before any of that, the reasoning and the thought processes that he goes through in order to take the actions that he feels is appropriate to better the lives of others, just for bettering the community in general. And that is also something I feel like I wish I could have seen that before he became president. And I'm kind of sad I didn't read this before then, but looking back, it is definitely something that I'm glad that I know now, and it gives me more insight into the reasons why he has taken the actions he has as president. I hope this is making sense. I feel like I'm rambling. But you kind of get to see that thought process in its like raw nature, and he doesn't hold back from that. I think that this book did a really good job at making him seem more human. He's obviously a human, but I mean, like, taking him down from his pedestal and his celebrity status and bringing him back to being a regular guy growing up, much like the rest of us. And for that, I feel like the book had a sort of inspirational aspect to it. I'm just gonna leave it at that. Oh, I do have a couple of quotes that I wrote down. It was kind of hard. Listening to audiobooks and writing down the quotes that you really enjoy is kind of hard, but I still managed to write a couple down. It says, "I think perhaps education doesn't do as much good unless it is mixed with sweat. Something about that quote just stuck with me. It has stuck with me since I first heard it. For some reason that quote just stuck with me. I think it's always gonna stick with me. To cut this thing short, I really enjoyed the book. It gave me a lot of insight into his life, and I just really enjoyed that aspect. I feel like I got to know good old Barry a lot better, and I would recommend this to someone who is interested in sort of getting to know his life and how he grew up, and perhaps just a little bit more about our 44th president. He's an amazing man. I am not one to shy away from saying that I absolutely loved him as president, and so yeah, that's basically it. Thank you guys so much for watching if you're still here. I'll see you guys very soon with another video, and until then, happy reading and happy writing. Bye.